Good morning, and welcome all guests and Facebook Live viewers. I am Lieutenant Commander Andrew Broyles, Executive Officer and First Lieutenant, USS Constitution. Welcome. Welcome to the Change of Command Ceremony, one of the most time-honored traditions in the United States Navy. The official party will be arriving shortly. When they do, I would ask for all guests to please rise. At this time, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. At the conclusion of the ceremony, Constitution will fire one shot from a ceremonial saluting battery. Constitution sailors have distributed hearing protection for all guests. If you did not receive foam earplugs, please raise your hand now. Who has earplugs? Will the person with a box of earplugs please come forward?
I am forward, sir.
It is our privilege to have you with us today as we observe the rite of passing command of a warship from one officer to another. The ceremony is simple and steeped in tradition. It remains almost unchanged since the earliest times of seafaring custom. It represents the transfer of absolute authority and responsibility along with the most honored of naval titles, Captain. The ceremony will commence with Navy Band Northeast playing the national anthem. Will all guests please rise? Sorry, there was a slight delay. The instruments were freezing. We have to go get them because they were thawing them out. Captain, the crew's in quarters.
Constitution, arriving!
Right lad, face. Forward, march.
Present the colors. Retire the colors. Please remain standing. I would like to welcome Chaplain James Reagan, who will lead us in the invocation.
Good afternoon. Will you pray with me? Sovereign God, who presides over every event, great and small, we thank you for your presence among us as we participate in the time-honored tradition of the changing of command. Thank you for the wisdom inherent in this ceremony, steeped in naval tradition, in which the authority of command peacefully transitions from one outstanding leader to the next, ensuring us all continuity, stability, and strength. We are grateful for the exceptional leadership of USS Constitution 76 Commanding Officer, Commander John Benda, who found himself in command during a very challenging time in our nation's history. Just like his predecessors, he faced the hardships set before him with ingenuity, decisive leadership, and enthusiasm, leading this stellar group of sailors towards one victory after the next, as they maintained the long-standing Constitution tradition of never facing defeat. As he passes the responsibility and authority of leadership to Commander BJ Farrell, may she lean not only upon her wisdom and experience, which truly prepared her well for this assignment, but most importantly, on your infinite knowledge and strength. As 77 assumes command of this prestigious warship, may she emulate the long line of great commanding officers as she leads with honor, exemplified by Isaac Hull, exhibits the heroic courage of Stephen Decatur, and possesses enduring commitment like that of Edward Preble. So God, we the people, thank you. Thank you for this time of recognition and of celebration. May our ceremony this afternoon honor these two leaders, their families, and this great command well. But most importantly, may it bring you praise and glory. And it's in your holy name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, chaps. Will the guests please be seated? Constitution, parade, rest. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Carlos Del Toro, the 78th Secretary of the Navy.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. What a great, beautiful day it is for our Navy and our nation. It's an honor to be here today alongside the USS Constitution, our oldest commissioned ship. I'm honored to welcome today Medal of Honor recipient Navy Captain Tom Kelly to today's ceremony. Captain, would you please stand and be recognized for a moment? I also want to extend a very special welcome to Mayor Wu. Thank you for all that you and the great city of Boston have done for our Navy community. You are a trailblazer yourself, ma'am, and we are proud to have you here today with us. I want to thank Ann Grimes Rand, Paul George, and everyone at the USS Constitution and the Foundation for the work that you do every day to maintain and preserve the heritage of this great ship. I want to extend a very special thanks to Commander Benda's family, his wife Susan, his children Cynthia, Sadie, Teddy, and his parents John and Brenda for their commitment to our beloved Navy as well. Please stand for a moment and be recognized. What a cute boy. He too will one day be commanding officer of the Constitution, I'm sure. And I also thank Commander Farrell's family, her husband Paul and her children William and Lily, and her parents Bill and Pam as well too. Would you please stand and be recognized? The sounds are muffled, but they're very enthusiastic, I tell you. We simply cannot thank our Navy families enough for the sacrifices that they make. If you are a Navy member, please rise and be recognized. Please, if you're a Navy spouse, please stand up. And allow me a brief moment to also recognize my own wife, Betty, who has been a Navy spouse. We're married for 38 years. We served in the Navy for 23. We moved 17 times in 23 years, and she raised 4 beautiful children. That's representative of our Navy spouses across the entire Department of the Navy. Thank you. And I also want to thank all the sailors who serve here on America's flagships and all of your families. You are truly the public face of our Navy, connecting all who visit this great ship, the Constitution, with our storied past and teaching them about the bright future. Commander Benda, you have executed that mission proudly, safely, effectively through a pandemic that began as soon as you took command in February of 2020. And that's just one part of your distinguished naval career. Like this ship, you were born in Boston, but your service has taken you all around the world. You protected the seas in Operation Iraqi Freedom. You provided humanitarian aid in the tsunami in 2004 in the Pacific, and you supported special operations in the Philippines. Your career has run the spectrum of Navy missions, securing the sea lanes, protecting our nation, and responding where there's a need. Those were the priorities that spurred construction of the USS Constitution over 2 centuries ago. And they remain our top priorities today. Our economy, our prosperity, our security have always been linked to the seas, defining us as a maritime nation. The oceans are the lifeblood of the global economy, and the Navy protects those oceans every day. 90% of global trade travels on the ocean through vital sea lanes protected by our naval forces and our allies. So you can thank our Navy when your Amazon package shows up at your front door. You can laugh at that. But our impact on the global economy is measured in more than just packages. It's measured in livelihoods and our nation's gross domestic product. $5.4 trillion of annual U.S. income and 31 million American jobs depend on ocean-going trade. That is why our nation needs a strong Navy Marine Corps team, just as it did in the days of the Barbary Wars and the War of 1812. And that's why the public mission of this ship is so very important to our Navy and our nation. You tell the story to the American people, and today that story gains another chapter as Commander Billie J. Farrell assumes command. She is the perfect leader to take command of this historic ship at this historic time. To meet the many challenges that we face around the world, we must recruit, we must retain, mentor, educate, and promote the very best that our nation has to offer. And Commander Farrell is the very best our nation has to offer. Like me, she graduated from the Naval Academy and she joined the fleet as an elected officer. That was my first job. However, she probably graduated with a higher ranking than I did from the Naval Academy. Throughout her career, she showed professionalism, leadership, especially as executive officer of the guided missile cruiser, the USS Vicksburg. Commander Farrell, today your name will join the distinguished list of naval leaders aboard the USS Constitution who commanded her. Men like Preble, Decatur, Hull, and also Benda, having strengthened this ship throughout many years. But so have the women who have served here on this great ship. That includes the Constitution's first female sailor, Petty Officer Rosemary Lanham, and the ship's first female executive officer, Lieutenant Commander Claire Bloom. And as you assume command of a Navy ship in today's fleet, you will also join the ranks of many other women who lead our Navy today. Leaders like Rear Admiral McClellan, the Vice Director of the Navy Staff. Others like Admiral Chatfield, also here with us today, who is transforming our Navy as the first female president of the Naval War College in Newport, Rhode Island. And other warship captains like Amy Braunschmidt, commanding officer of the USS Abraham Lincoln. Last year, she became the first woman to command an aircraft carrier. And earlier this month, she took that mighty warship to sea. You will also join other female skippers in the fleet, like Commander Gilmore of the USS Daniel Inouye, which I commissioned last month in Pearl Harbor. And as I told Commander Gilmore at that ceremony, you must remember that you are responsible for every member of your crew and their families. Each of them, each sailor, represents all that is strong and good about our country. Together you stand together as freedom's torch, inspiring all who visit this great ship and this great city. And I want to take this moment to thank the people of Boston for your unwavering support for our sailors and our Marines. From the earliest days of the Revolution, Boston has stood tall in the defense of freedom. And when the next generation of Bostonians, women and men, visit this ship, I want them to see themselves reflected in this crew and in our Navy. I want every young person who visits to understand that they can achieve everything, whether they look like Billy Farrell, like John Benda, or God forbid, like myself, Carlos del Toro. That is what truly makes our Navy and our nation exceptional. And I invite you all to join in that journey with us. So Commander Benda, thanks for a job well done, sir. Commander Farrell, thanks for taking on this great responsibility. And to all who serve and occasionally sail aboard the USS Constitution and your families, thank you for your service. I wish you fair winds, following seas, and even warmer weather. Thank you.
It is an honor to introduce the President of the Naval War College, Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield.
Well, Secretary Del Toro, Mrs. Del Toro, welcome. Sir, those were wonderful remarks. Captain Kelly, you honor us with your presence. It's so good to see you again, sir. Admiral Allen, Admiral McClelland, Admiral Cheeseman, Mayor Wu, Commander Benda, Commander Farrell, retired captains, colonels, other distinguished guests, officers and crew of the USS Constitution, friends, and our dear families, welcome. Good afternoon. I want to personally thank Commander Benda for offering me the honor of addressing such a robust audience and crew on such a historic occasion aboard this warship. This change of command ceremony has been conducted aboard U.S. Navy vessels since the foundations of our service and is rooted in the time-honored traditions of both the U.S. Navy and our predecessor, the Royal Navy. For centuries, naval officers have stood before their crews on the decks of ships, many that looked much like this one, and read their orders aloud and peacefully passed the responsibilities and authorities of command to their designated successor. And I can think of no better venue to honor our heritage and the traditions of the Naval Service than right here with Old Ironsides right behind us. The USS Constitution, our ship of state, holds great historic and symbolic value to our nation and to our Navy. She's not just an artifact of warfighting in the past, but also a symbol of current naval readiness and our country's strong support for our Navy, past, present, and future. She is both a symbol of our maritime nation and American naval might. She's a symbol that is living and breathing, and that every citizen in our country and our international visitors can come to see, touch, and experience. She is the third of the original 6 frigates. Constitution was built at a time when our new nation had very little revenue. Not much to spend on a military, but worth the investment in naval power. It was worth the best use of our meager funds to protect our commerce. Throughout the life of this ship, funding for her has been a recurring obstacle. And she has been saved numerous times, not by the Navy, but by the people of the United States. In 1830, she faced decommissioning. Oliver Wendell Holmes authored a poem, Old Ironsides, which brought public awareness to the ship and ultimately saved her from the scrapyard. In 1905, the Navy made another attempt to dispose of the ship due to the high cost of her needed repairs, but public outcry again saved her from a watery grave. And in 1925, in need of a full restoration, once again the American public came to her rescue, with school children donating pennies to the cause, and private organizations raising more than $600,000 for the repair work. Adjusting for inflation, that would be equivalent to nearly $10 million today. Make no mistake, this ship belongs to the American people and is symbolic of our collective commitment to naval power. How am I doing so far, John? All right. Like many of you, I've gotten a lot of my history of this ship from John Benda. And I like to think that I've brought hundreds to the ship, at least 100, because I know my international students have all visited, members of my family, and they have benefited from these stories and so many others from the crew of the Constitution and from Commander Benda himself. Stories of the ship's battles, her commanding officers, her extraordinary crew, her cannons, and all of the armaments and actions that she made. I've been a regular visitor to the ship over the past 2.5 years. I've been introduced from the bilges to the fighting platform, and I have always admired the members of this crew who take such care to embody the fighting spirit of this ship. Today's change of command offers one more chapter to the unique and storied history of this famous warship and her connection to the American people. For the first time in its nearly 225-year history, a woman will take command and lead this crew. Of course, in our modern Navy, women have already commanded at all levels, but not this ship, the public's most accessible commissioned vessel, America's naval heritage. Each year, more than 500,000 visitors cross into this ship, and they encounter a hand-selected crew led by an exceptional commander. To place our ship of state into the capable hands of one of our finest women officers is a symbol of our commitment, not just to equality, but to the laws of our land being fulfilled. For the 500,000 who walk across the brow of the Constitution, each will have the opportunity to see what opportunities this country and our naval service provide to every hard-working, optimistic American sailor. And I can only hope that a new generation of people are inspired by seeing a woman as the captain of our ship of state, recognizing that for them too, there is no limit to what they can accomplish. Out of the 500,000 visitors to the ship each year, how many of our children will learn without realizing it that each has the right to dream of achieving their own goals without qualification by their race, gender, ethnicity, or sexual orientation? How many will see that the worth of any individual on this crew is in their dedication, their character, their competence, and that here there are opportunities to develop personally and professionally? And by coaching and mentoring of senior enlisted and officers, and from their own practice, study, and hands-on experience, they will learn to work independently and become high-performing members of a team. At the Naval War College, we have devoted significant time and resources to support the United States strategy on women, peace, and security, which is the law of the land and was passed in 2017. It is designed to increase women's meaningful leadership in political and civic life by helping to ensure they are empowered to lead and contribute, equipped with the necessary skills and support to succeed, and supported to participate through access to opportunities and resources. Today's change of command is a tangible example of the Navy keeping our promise to place qualified women without reservation to the highest and most impactful positions of authority, accountability, and responsibility. As we stand on the deck of this historic warship, right in front of it, with Old Glory waving from the mast, as she has for nearly 225 years, this vessel continues to stand as a symbol of those qualities that make our nation exceptional. And there's a poignancy to this setting, to understand how much of our shared history has played out on the planks of her decks. It's the same deck that Oliver Wendell Holmes described when he wrote, "Her deck, once red with hero's blood, where knelt the vanquished foe, when winds were hurrying o'er the flood, and waves were white below. This ship has a history of victory in battle and of producing winning crews. To Commander Benda, I want to congratulate you on the conclusion of your tour as commanding officer, on a job well done. Your outstanding stewardship of this great vessel is evident in the condition of your ship and the professionalism of your crew. Commander Benda brought the ship and crew safely through the COVID-19 pandemic and through partnerships with the National Park Services and Museum. He was able to complete his ship's mission while keeping his sailors and the public safe. At the same time, he revamped the public affairs program, adapted the way the command communicated and interacted with the public while the ship was closed to visitors. And most notably, members of Commander Benda's crew have told me of his unique dedication to the training and development needs of his sailors. He's always been supportive of their needs and always open to suggestions and ideas from his crew, and I hope in his remarks he'll tell us the story of the naming of the long gun Perfectus, an idea that started with this crew. His mentorship has been key to the advancement and promotion of many members of his crew, including his command senior enlisted advisor, who was promoted to Master Chief Petty Officer while under his command. Commander Benda was the right person for the job at the right time, balancing the care and welfare of his sailors with the important mission of the ship during the most trying of circumstances. Thank you, Commander Benda, for all that you have done for this ship and crew, and I'd like to give you all an opportunity right now to stand up and give this crew a standing ovation for all that they have done for our Navy and for our nation. Commander Benda, to your wife, Susan, children, Teddy, Cynthia, Sadie, and your parents, John and Brenda Benda, thank you for your unwavering support that allowed your husband and father to perform his duties in an exemplary manner to serve our great country. To Commander Billy Farrell, command is a privilege. It is a great responsibility, and you will assume the mantle of that command today on America's oldest commissioned warship with the help of a carefully selected crew. I have the utmost confidence that you will lead well and show those that follow you what is possible in this great country. I'm grateful to your husband, Paul, your children, William and Lillian, and your parents, Bill and Pam Matlock, who have joined us on this momentous occasion. Congratulations to your family on this historic day. And now to the crew of this historic ship, thank you for your hard work, your sacrifices, and I'd like to reaffirm what you already know. You have been hand-selected, and you do represent the best of our nation. You're ambassadors for the U.S. Navy, and more than any other time during your careers, you will have the opportunity to impact the ideas and conceptions that those who so graciously support us have about the United States Navy. Through your job every day, every visitor that crosses the brow, you are the face of our Navy, past and present. To every person who visits this museum, to every person who has previously served on this ship, you represent the protection of our nation's independence and economic prosperity. You represent the promotion of opportunity for every individual in this country, and of our national obligation to keep the peace and, when necessary, to fight and win our nation's wars. I'd also like to thank the City of Boston, Mayor Wu, council members, elected officials who have joined us today for your support of the Navy and this great ship. Thank you to the members of the community here today, representatives of the Coast Guard, our National Guard, our Naval History and Heritage Command Detachment Boston, the USS Constitution Museum Foundation, and the National Park Service for your continued support for America's ship of state. I have great confidence today, as the mantle of leadership is passed, that the Navy has chosen the right commander to serve as captain of this historic ship going forward, and with the help of a great crew and a supportive community, that this ship will continue to serve in its role as the ship of state of the United States of America. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, ma'am.
In true Johnny B fashion, this is going to get a little loud. It is an honor to introduce the 76th Commanding Officer of USS Constitution, Commander John Benda.
Wait 1 second. Loretta Perfectus Walsh was the first female enlisted sailor, and Master Chief Collins came up with the idea to honor her during Women's Heritage Week month. Was glad to do so. We needed to name a few guns, and if Perfectus isn't the best name for a gun, I don't know what is. It was perfect. Good afternoon, everybody, all you brave souls, for braving the cold and joining us today. Thank you for being here. Secretary Del Toro, Mrs. Del Toro, welcome back to America's Ship of State, sir. You being here is bringing even more special attention to what is already a brilliant day for our Navy. Captain Kelly, sir, always a pleasure to see you again. Admiral Chatfield, ma'am, always a pleasure. It was a pleasure getting to know you and your husband at the many events over the past 2 years we've been to, and every event that you personally brought the college students here. I also think that this beautiful ship represents everything that is great about our country and should be shown off to our allies and everyone in the military when getting the chance. When I thought who would be a perfect person to say some remarks today, you were my immediate thought. A senior officer who is breaking barriers herself, and someone who loves the ship as I do, and also appreciates how important knowing our early American history is to our country's future military success. On behalf of BJ and I, ma'am, thank you. Admiral McClellan, ma'am, hard to see you behind me. All right. Thank you for making the trip. Please pass my regards to Mr. Hipley, Director Navy Staff, and Captain Jason Burns, my former commanding officer on USS Essex. Shout out to the Iron Gator, if you're anyone out there watching. Captain Burns is someone I'm proud to say I've now worked for twice. As a first-time CO, ma'am, it feels good having an ISIC that has faith and trust in you, and Mr. Hipley gave the crew and I some latitude and faith that we could safely stay a little ahead of the curve in order to accomplish our mission in a COVID environment, and I appreciate that trust. I hope from your view in DC, ma'am, this command is making a difference. Other flag officers in attendance, General Airwood, General Hammond, General Keefe, Admiral Allen, thank you for being here, gentlemen. We take and will take very seriously that our mission here is to promote not just the Navy, but all the armed forces, past and present. The Navy could not do our mission here without the National Guard, without the Coast Guard, without the United States Army and the Marine Corps. And a shout out to the 1812 Marine Guard doing the job for us so well. Thank you, gentlemen. Senator Rush, Representative McMurtry, Representative Ryan, and Councilman Flynn, the people of Charlestown, the people of Dedham, Massachusetts, the city of Boston are well represented by you. When you're in uniform, or when you're fighting on behalf of other uniform members and former uniform members in our great city and state. Governor Baker said some nice things about BJ and I in a video farewell with the museum the other day. Also, some nice remarks from Mayor Wu. Ma'am, congratulations on your historic achievement as well. And can I just tell you that you made a great choice in keeping Rob Santiago as Commissioner of Veterans Affairs, a former Constitution sailor. Rob, you're a great friend to me personally and to the crew, and you're the right man for the job. The crew and I, thank you. And also a thank you to Secretary Poppy out there. Thank you for your strong leadership for our state of Massachusetts during this crazy couple years. To Mr. Paul George, Ann Grimes-Rand, Sarah Watkins, staff, trustees, board members here from the USS Constitution Museum, world-class museum over the best museum in the country. We are a better, stronger, prepared United States Navy Command because of your efforts. National Park Superintendent Creasy, thank you for being here, Michael. This is your real estate. You had to say yes to us to use it. All of the National Park staff, from maintenance to law enforcement to interpreters. It's been a difficult, emotional couple years for everybody, but the National Park staff, the museum, the Navy, we are your extended family, and working with your folks is one of the things that I am going to miss most when I depart. The sailors and I have a small part in making the ship look as beautiful and as well maintained as it is. 30 expert craftsmen and riggers from Naval History and Heritage Command, Attachment Boston, do all the behind-the-scenes work while the sailors and I stand out in front and tell the story and get all the credit. To Mr. Rich Moore, my big brother, we had a rough go of it for a couple years, but this ship is in beautiful shape. His team rallied after COVID to see my personal vision through, and on behalf of the crew who desired it, to get those 3 topsails bent on and worked while underway, and we did it, my proudest achievement. Thank you, Rich, and to the NHHC team. I might be more emotional today if I didn't know that the friends I've made over this tour weren't lifelong friends. To Jen and Pat DeLuca, to all the DeLucas, Captain Mary Jo Majors, our ship's Commodore, Chuck and Bobby Leland, the Moraleses, the Hallinans, the Denotos, Jackie Johnson, Captain Hennessy. The friends I've made is what made this not a job, not a tour, an experience that can't be replicated across the services. Friends like family. To my blood family sitting in the front row, I think my mom is taking this harder than I am. But I would like to say, there will be a successful transfer of power today when Mrs. Farrell, I know you are ready to take up the mantle as first mother of America's ship of state, and that ceremony will be immediately following this in the bar. And to my dad, Navy veteran, I would not have joined the Navy if you hadn't, Dad. Love you. If you want to see what my dad looked like 50 years ago in uniform, fit to the middle of your program. Very nice picture there. We say that your family serves alongside you. This is very true. So my wife has the hardest job in the Navy because she has to deal with me every day when I come home. I am a lot more difficult than probably most of you think. I came here into the job and I was going to give it everything I had, give it my all, nights, weekends, and she held it together at home, and she didn't get to enjoy all of the things that I did as she was pregnant for the first year as XO, and Teddy was born, and then a COVID year. Honey, love you. Thank you for standing by me during this tour. A round of applause for Susan Rhodes. Thank you, honey. This has been an awesome week for the Benda family. Not only are we having a change of command, but we lost a tooth this week, and the tooth fairy came. We are very proud of that. Well done not keeping the tooth in your mouth, Sadie. Good job. Cynthia, if you're watching from college right now online, love you and miss you. Now get back to studying because college is not free. So expect some good grades this semester. And to Sadie and Teddy, if I had one regret, it's that you're a little young. You may not remember that Daddy was captain of this ship. May not have the same memories, but don't worry. It's probably all I'll be talking about until the day I die. But to the Farrells, to Paul, Lily, William, to the extended Farrell family, to everyone I got to meet last night that traveled from Kentucky and Indiana, a great group. I know from the past month, turning the ship over and the crew over, I could not be doing it to a better naval officer. The ship is in great hands. BJ, I wish you the best of luck. The former COs and I are a phone call away if needed. When you walk the ship at night, you will feel the spirits of all the COs that have passed on. You will feel the spirits of the hundreds of men that passed while on those decks during 33 naval battles and 0 defeat. Their spirit now lives inside you. You are USS Constitution. Embrace it, enjoy it. They are looking down at us right now, huzzahing, because this ship lives to fight another day. Lastly, it is all about the sailors of USS Constitution. I said when I took over 2 years ago, I wanted to be the commanding officer that you deserved, to be a commanding officer that you're proud to talk about serving with, to be an inspiring leader, to be a good living example of the Navy's core values, to hold myself and to you the highest standards of character and competence. I hope that I was that CO that you're proud to say you served with 18 years from now. Was I successful? You don't need to answer that, Chief. That's a rhetorical question. I hope in your eyes I've delivered. You were the crew that I hoped for, and in my eyes, you most definitely delivered for me. I salute you, crew of USS Constitution. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Now, get this gloves on. Don't want to get these. Let's go.
Susan, don't worry, he was just as difficult here. It is an honor to introduce the Vice Director of Navy Staff, Rear Admiral Jackie McClellan, who will present Commander John Benda with his End of Tour Award. Will the guests please rise? All military, attention to award. For outstanding meritorious service while serving as commanding officer in USS Constitution from February 2020 to January 2022. Exhibiting impeccable leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic, he expertly guided his crew to overcome all obstacles in the execution of Constitution's mission to preserve, protect, and promote the Navy's heritage and the indomitable legacy of Old Ironsides. Undeterred after the ship was forced to close to the general public, his ingenuity to recognize possibilities in the virtual world led to 200 daily virtual tours and unprecedented 4 million new online viewers. He energized a square rig sail curriculum, spearheading a comprehensive review of 18th century techniques while overseeing 100 climbing evolutions for 80 sailors, maintaining a flawless safety record and resulting in 3 topsails set underway for the first time in over a decade. He executed 7 underway demonstrations and multiple impactful commemorations with federal, state, and nonprofit entities. Promoting the CNO's outreach objectives and the Navy's values, he systematically and efficiently executed the 2021 Chief of Naval Operations Heritage Weeks, empowering his sailors in training the next generation of senior leaders. His incomparable leadership resulted in a revitalized unaccompanied housing program. Furthermore, he deftly managed external partnerships leading to a critical restoration while spearheading a ship's manning document overhaul that directly affected duty section and departmental growth and improved the health, morale, and resiliency of his sailors. Commander Benda's exceptional professionalism, personal initiative, and loyal devotion to duty reflected great credit upon him and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Guests may be seated. It is an honor to introduce Commander Billie J. Farrell.
Good afternoon, Secretary Del Toro, Admiral Chatfield, Admiral McClellan, Mayor Wu, distinguished guests, partners of USS Constitution, friends, family. I'm sure many of you have seen the picture floating around of me standing next to this remarkable ship back in 1998. I could have never imagined that 24 years later, I would have the privilege to be speaking to you here today about to take command of Old Ironsides. It really is incredible to think about the history of the ship behind me and how she was created by our founding fathers. She was ordered to be built under President George Washington, commissioned under President John Adams. These are names we normally only get to read about in our history books. However, Constitution serves as a living piece of history. Unlike so many other topics that we can only read about in books, Constitution can be visited and experienced firsthand, connecting us to those that had a vision of what this country and government would be. Any person that walks on the decks of the ship is immediately standing on the page of history itself. She also serves as a somber reminder of those that gave the ultimate sacrifice on her decks to create the nation that we know today. Her name carries the weight of the document to which we are all familiar and to which all members of the armed services swear an oath to support and defend. She already has an incredible story that includes an undefeated battle record of 33-0. Later this year, she reaches another milestone as she turns 225. Constitution's story is still being written by those that serve here today and those who come to experience history for themselves. I have been humbled by the outpouring of support I received as I embark on this amazing journey. Thank you to the City of Boston for the warm welcome. Thank you to my home state of Kentucky for sharing in this celebration. To the crew, I have been blown away by your professionalism and excitement for both the ship and the Navy during these past few weeks. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all more and continuing our mission to preserve, promote, and protect Constitution. You are the beating heart of this ship. Thank you to everyone for being here today. I'm looking forward to the next 2 years and the privilege to command America's ship of state in the greatest Navy on the earth. Thank you.
These gloves make it hard to turn pages. It is tradition when it comes time to turn over command. The current commanding officer will call all hands to muster, read the order of a detachment, and turn over command to his relief, who will read the orders of relief and assume command. The commissioning pennant is a distinguishing mark of a warship. Since the earliest days of organized navies, commissioning pennants have been flown by warships to distinguish them from merchantmen. Since the Anglo-Dutch War of 1652, when British Admiral Robert Blake reportedly flew a horsewhip at his masthead to symbolize his intent to whip the Dutch fleet. Commissioning pennants have assumed a long, slender, whip-like form. It is tradition for the ship's company to present a departing commanding officer with the commissioning pennant that flew over his ship while he was in command in honor and commemoration of the command's achievements. Quartermaster Second Class Dill will now present Commander Benda his commissioning pennant.
Ship's company, attention to orders. I will now read my orders. Bupper's order number 2670 from Deputy Chief of Naval Personnel to Commander John A. Benda, United States Navy. Subject, official change of duty orders. When directed by reporting senior and relieved of command of USS Constitution, detach in January 2022 and report to the Naval Leadership and Ethics Center in Newport, Rhode Island. Signed, A. Holsey, Rear Admiral,
United States Navy Naval Personnel Command.
I will now read my orders. Buford's order 2301-01 from Deputy Chief Navy Personnel to Commander Billie J. Farrell, United States Navy. Official change of duty orders. When directed by reporting senior, detach and report to USS Constitution as commanding officer. For duty as his relief. Signed, A. Halsey, Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, Navy Personnel Command.
Commander Farrell, I am ready to relieve commanding officer of USS Constitution.
I am ready to relieve you.
Command, I am proper relieve commanding officer of USS Constitution.
And I assume all duties and responsibilities as commanding officer of USS Constitution.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Commander B.J. Farrell, United States Navy, 77th Commanding Officer of USS Constitution. As you can imagine, an event such as the one today could not have been accomplished without a great deal of support from many people. Mr. Secretary, Admiral Chatfield, Admiral McClellan, thank you for being here and speaking today and showing all the support you do for USS Constitution. Chaps, as always, looking good. Thank you. Navy Band Northeast, your instrument survived. Thank you so much for coming out here and showing us support. And most importantly, the crew of USS Constitution. Please give them another round of applause. Last but not least, to all the services here, Air Force, ma'am, thank you. Marines, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, thank you all for your support. Please give them a round of applause. Guests are invited to congratulate number 76 and 77 in our heated tent immediately following the ceremony. Please remain standing for the benediction. Let us pray. Gracious Lord, thank you for this opportunity to witness the transition of command authority from Commander Benda to Commander Farrell. As Commander Benda assumes his new role at NLEC in Newport, we pray this next chapter in his career affords him many opportunities to positively influence and shape the future leaders of our Navy. Bless him and his family with fair winds and following seas. As Commander Farrell sets sail as the 77th Commanding Officer of America's ship estate, may the next chapter she and this outstanding crew share together strengthen the legacy of Old Ironsides and uphold the highest traditions of this great warship as emulated through the sacrificial service of the men and women who walked these decks in days past. Like them, as we continue in our service today, may we faithfully carry the mantle of liberty and justice as we serve, promoting freedom and democracy around the world. And it's in your holy name I pray. Amen. Okay, thank you. Thank you again, Chaplain. sure we all get a picture in front of you. They did? Okay. Thanks again for everybody coming out. It's not in the script, but I'm going to change things up a little bit. For both 76 and 77, 3 cheers. Hip, hip, huzzah! Hip, hip, huzzah! Hip, hip, huzzah! That concludes the ceremony. Thank you.